Very good morning and welcome aboard, everybody. This is Rubal Tuli representing Over Breakfast, the 9 a.m. reading circle. We meet every Sunday, and the idea is straightforward. We want to dive into the deeper realms of learning. We want to explore the literature that is out there, waiting on the shelves of great bookshops and libraries for us to explore. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Anup Luthra. I was fortunate enough to have met him a few days ago for a few hours long meeting. During those hours, we entered into the domains of learning and realizations which I felt were very different, were very unique. They were the uncharted waters, the unexplored horizons of human existence. It all started from this book that is in my hand. This book that is called The Divine Matrix. Mr. Anup Luthra introduced to me this book, and once I had read it all, I could realize that how amazing and different and unique the concept of this could be. Or maybe in our regular life, we are so occupied in the material existence, our day-to-day commitments and obligations, we really never bother to understand what is taking place deep in the quantum world. If I read the first sentence from the back of this book says that there is a place where everything begins, and that is the place of pure energy. And this space is the quantum incubator, where everything is possible. This book has been written by Gregg Braden, and this individual has also been a former senior aerospace computer systems designer who has researched into metaphysics and the possibilities and the great potential this world opens for us. Before I begin, I would love to welcome Mr. Anup Luthra at Over Breakfast. Good morning, Anupji. Welcome aboard.
Good morning, Rubalji. Good morning, everyone.
You and Anupji, it is an absolute honor. The reason is that you made me think. We have always shared a love for book reading. However, the research that you carry into the field is really awe-inspiring. On this note, I request you to kindly share your screen and let's dive deeper.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Rubalji, for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of your book club, this platform. So, everyone, my name is Anup Luthra, and today I'm going to review a very special book named is Divine Matrix. So that person is also an author of 25 plus books. He's a very, very intellectual man. He spent around 5 years in Tibet. He went to Machu Picchu, Peru, Easter Island. मतलब वर्ल्ड की कोई भी ऐसी indigenous place या ancestral place या ऐसी कोई place नहीं है this person have not went to. So his research is totally amazing, and this book not his research. He read around 100 200 books. इसकी bibliography में he mentioned everything. So I have mentioned some of the concepts. Today I am going to share with you step by step so that you will be able to understand. I will use Hindi and English both. I will use in Hindi also so that everybody will understand quantum physics. Some of the things are typical, but I will try to make you understand. Now I am going to share my screen with you with the help of slides. I keep on sharing what I want to share. Is it visible, Rubalji?
Absolutely. We can see the lovely aesthetic sense of that. Thank you.
Thank you. So humans are we are a very curious species. We always look for answers. Who we are, from where we came from, what we are doing, what is our purpose. So we keep on thinking in our mind. And one of the most important questions also, are we a passive observer in this universe or a powerful creator? कि हमें यहाँ पे रह के जस्ट फील ही करना कि whatever is going on it has to, है ना, ऐसा ही चलता है कि, और we have the power to create something. We usually think that is there any laws governing this universe, or as a human being, how much power we have as a human being. And one more thing is, whatever science has told us, is it true 100%? Or can we bend, hold, can we bend, heal, or mold the reality? Actually, today you are going to get all the answers. And I hope most of the people have read the book, The Secret. And today also I'm going to tell you the actual science behind the book, The Secret, right? So let's start this exceptional journey. First of all, science keep on saying that there are only two things exist, either matter or free space. Matter, koi bhi mobile is a matter, that remote is a matter, anything which is physical is a matter, table is a matter, but the space between us, it is free, an empty space. Or if you see throughout the universe, only 5% matter is there and 95% space is empty. So this book is all about what he want to say is कि ये जो empty space है, this is a living spirit. So what they are saying is, we are going to talk about that empty space is not empty, but filled by invisible field of energy. The author named it as the divine matrix, right? So मतलब all ये throughout जो physical space empty है, he called it divine matrix, but other names also used by so many people like the field, dark energy, quantum field, ether. So I will use all those names in the during the presentation. So all these names are of divine matrix. So what they want to say is the consciousness is responsible for all kind of creation. All kind of consciousness is responsible for everything. Consciousness is आपकी जागरूकता, मतलब when you have a conscious attention on something, right? That is your consciousness. Our ancestors know all these things from long time. They knew the language of rains, crops, the creator. They knew how to speak to stars and sky people. But later on, we keep on forgetting what they already know. We believe that in the separation, we believe that we have to fight for survive and defend ourselves against the same forces that gave us a life. Beautiful. So before I start, I must tell you one thing, that he says that everything in this world is connected to everything else. But how someone can say this? Like you are somewhere else, I am somewhere else. I am not connected with you. I am not connected with earth. I am not connected with everything, anything. We all are separate human beings. But this phenomena is mind-boggling, called the quantum entanglement. It is a concept of physics. So try to understand. The smallest particle of matter called the photon. फोटोन जो एटम का पार्टिकल का सबसे छोटा पार्ट होता है ना, पार्टिकल, अंडर माइक्रोस्कोप यू कैन ओनली सी इट इज कॉल्ड फोटोन, राइट? व्हाट हैपेंड इज नाउ दे टुक वन फोटोन, दिस इज द फोटोन, एक्चुअल में द साइज बहुत छोटा होगा, नेक्ड आई कैन नॉट सी इट, राइट? दे टुक वन फोटोन and with the very sophisticated technology they split it into two parts, right? ये एक फोटोन को sophisticated technology से they divided into two parts. Now we have two identical photons, right? Now what happened is when they tickle one photon, another photon at the same time moves. Again they tickle one photon, again second one again moves. Then again with the help of sophisticated technology they इन दोनों को दूरी उन्होंने 40 miles दूर कर दिया, दोनों को 40 miles दूर. Again they start tickling one photon and suddenly another photon moves immediately. अब जो इसकी थ्योरी जिन्होंने दी थी नील बोर, तो वो नहीं नील बोर नहीं, मिस्टर एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन, one of the science genius, when he saw this experiment he said this is not possible, क्योंकि आइंस्टाइन की थ्योरी ऑफ रिलेटिविटी कहती है कि nothing can travel faster than the light. then how this is possible? Why this is traveling that fast? मतलब there is no information medium, उनके बीच में कुछ भी नहीं है, then information lag कहाँ है? तो Albert Einstein keep on looking for their answers. First of all, he locked himself in a room for 3 days. He keep on doing that experiment again and again. If there is anything else, later on he came up with EPR paradox कि ये false theory है, उसको भी later on prove wrong कर दिया. Then Albert Einstein उन्होंने इसको एक टैग दिया spooky action at a distance कि एक भूतिया घटना है, right? So इसका slide is not moving. तो इसकी फाइंडिंग्स ये थी कि once anything connected physically, they remain connected energetically throughout. कि once I touch someone, somewhere in a quantum level, you and me will stay connected throughout, right? So he said that information does not have to travel due to the fabric of the universe. कि जो divine matrix है, जो ether है, energy field सब जगह फैली हुई है, it is present everywhere. So information doesn't have to travel, it is present everywhere. It acts like a hologram. Hologram आपने देखा होगा कि एक स्टिकर हमारी बुक कॉपीज के ऊपर लगाता है ऑथेंटिसिटी के लिए. In this slide you can see that the picture of the hologram. Hologram में क्या है कि if there is two buildings and you will see reflection of multiple buildings, उसके पीछे 1000 lakhs, because it is a reflection in a one hologram, information is present everywhere. तो सिमिलरली द फील्ड जो हमारे पूरे यूनिवर्स में ये फील्ड फैली हुई है, इंफॉर्मेशन ऑलरेडी जो यहाँ एक इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है, इन द एंड ऑफ द यूनिवर्स द सेम इंफॉर्मेशन इज अवेलेबल. सो this is a very mind-boggling thing that we still are connected, but our science have told us that we are not connected. We all are separate, right? So he said that we must see ourselves as a part of the world rather than separate from it. There is no separation. We all are connected with the quantum field. Things are able to travel faster than the speed of light, and maybe they can be in two places at once, right? Ab question arises, Rubal ji, question arises, if that matrix is very important, then why history may no one has discovered it? If this field of energy is really that powerful, how universe works, then why until today we did not know about it? The answer is we know about it. We know about it in ancient times. It is written in a, just like we have a Vedas, Gitas, and Buddhism mein they have a Buddhist sutras, right? It is written in a Buddhist sutras. The realm of the great Indra is described, that place where the web connects. Ab God Indra is saying that the web connects, right? वो एक web की बात कर रहा है जो सारे entire universe को connect करती है. The exact wording is here. Far away in the heavenly abode of the great Indra, there is a wonderful net, which has been hung by some cunning artificer in such a manner that it stretch out infinitely in all directions. It is written in the Buddhist sutras a long back, right? So Isaac Newton said in 1600 that there is an invisible substance available which is responsible for gravity and the sensation of the body, but उस time पे instruments available नहीं थे. Then Albert Einstein also said that space without the ether is unthinkable. You all have heard about Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras and Aristotle both searched about it, and they said कि earth की creation में there are 4 elements: fire, earth, water, and air. And this 5th ether is the mysterious element. So first time में Isaac Newton ने ये theory दी थी कि 5th जो invisible substance है, it is responsible for everything, right? Now again a new experiment of light particles. You have to listen it very carefully. So now what happened is, जैसे आपने image में देखा, they took 2 container A में इन्होंने एक container A लिया and they extract all the vacuum out of it. इसकी सारी हवा vacuum निकाल दी गई है और इसमें again they have introduced some photons, वो देखने के लिए कि उनकी position क्या है, top, bottom, वो कहाँ पे है. When they saw ये black dots, these black dots are the photons. They saw these they are in a random places, right? They inserted photons into the jar and extract all the vacuum out to see the actual position of those photons. What they saw is कि वो एक random position में है. Then they have inserted human DNA inside it, right? Human DNA उसके अंदर डाला गया and all those photons उसके आसपास उसके ऊपर ना चिपक जाते हैं, right? So इसकी इन्होंने findings ये निकाली कि a type of energy that previously gone unrecognized, कि ये ऐसी एक technology available है. This is the due to divine matrix only they are communicating. Otherwise, in a vacuum air, how would the photons know there is something, right? So they said that DNA influence matter through this form of energy. Now the thing is, if this kind of field is there, then what it is doing and how we can do it to improve our life, right? And they said that the act of focusing our consciousness is the act of creation. The act of focusing your consciousness, where you are focusing your consciousness, is creating everything. If whatever existed in this world is created by human consciousness, whether everything is created twice, once in human mind, then in reality. Consciousness creates everything, right? He said we are living in a participatory reality. Rubalji tried to understand participatory reality. This is not a one-way communication. Universe want us to participate so that we can bend the reality, we can move things, we can shake things, right? We can change things with our participation. If you keep on thinking that the thing will happen in the same manner and I have to be the victim or I have to be the spectator, you are completely wrong. Universe need our participation. If consciousness actually create, then how much power as an individual we have to change our world? If there is a fact that single feed of energy connects everything in our world, then there is no them, only us. फिर वो चीज तो you and me होगी नहीं, only us, because you affect me and I affect you, and our dominant thoughts create everything, right? So this is the picture you can see. As a human being, there are all the possibilities exist in this vacuum, in this divine matrix, like health, wealth, prosperity, what kind of friends you want, what kinds of life you want. It is your dominant thought where you are looking at कि जो हमारा deep burning desire आपके अंदर से आप किस चीज को, what it will pop up in your life, pop up. मतलब immediately you think about a car and it will not pop up. It will need है ना a long exercise, long conscious effort on something, right? So one more weird experiment I am going to show you. There is a video, 7 minutes video. You all have to watch this 7-minute video because I am not able to explain it by words. You have to see the diagram. You have to see the proper video. After 7 minutes, if you want to understand, then I will repeat again, right? So have some patience, everyone. Try to watch the video.
बड़ी विचित्र और रहस्यमयी है ये दुनिया। जब आप इसे ऑब्जर्व कर रहे होते हैं तो ये दूसरे तरह से काम करती है, और जब आप इसे ऑब्जर्व नहीं कर रहे होते हैं तो बिल्कुल अलग तरह से। आप सोच रहे होंगे कि मैं पागलों जैसी बातें कर रहा हूँ, पर ऐसा नहीं है। दरअसल यही सच है। इसका पता क्वांटम फिजिक्स के डबल स्लिट नाम के एक्सपेरिमेंट से चला था। इस एक्सपेरिमेंट के निष्कर्ष आज भी वैज्ञानिकों को हैरान और परेशान किए हुए हैं। इस एक्सपेरिमेंट ने वैज्ञानिकों को यह एहसास दिलाया कि वो इस दुनिया के बारे में कुछ नहीं जानते। खैर, आइए देखते हैं कि यह एक्सपेरिमेंट था क्या और इससे क्या पता चलता है। दोस्तों, क्वांटम फिजिक्स को समझाना काफी मुश्किल काम है, पर फिर भी मैं आसान भाषा में डबल स्लिट एक्सपेरिमेंट को समझाने की कोशिश करूंगा। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। इससे पहले कि हम क्वांटम वर्ल्ड में जाएं, पहले समझते हैं कि पार्टिकल्स और वेव कैसे काम करते हैं। मार्वल्स पार्टिकल नेचर के होते हैं। जब आप उन्हें एक गन से एक सिंगल स्लिट पे फायर करेंगे तो वो उससे पास होते हुए पीछे के वॉल पे एक सीधी लाइन बनाएंगे। अब अगर एक की जगह दो स्लिट का इस्तेमाल करें तो हम पाएंगे कि एक की जगह दो सीधी लाइन बैक वॉल पर बनेगी। अगर वेव को सिंगल स्लिट से पास कराएं तो जहां हाईएस्ट इंटेंसिटी के वेव बैक वॉल पर टकरा रहे हैं वहां एक सीधी लाइन बनेगी। यह लाइन भी बिल्कुल वैसी ही है जैसी मार्वल से बनी थी, लेकिन जब हम एक की जगह दो स्लिट का इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो कुछ अलग होता है। जब एक वेव के टॉप और दूसरे के बॉटम मिलते हैं तो वो एक दूसरे को कैंसिल आउट कर देते हैं, मतलब कि वो इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न बनाते हैं बैक वॉल पर। जहां पर दो वेव्स के टॉप मिलते हैं उसकी इंटेंसिटी सबसे ज्यादा होती है, जिसके कारण वहां एक ब्राइट लाइन बनती है। जहां पर टॉप और बॉटम मिलकर कैंसिल आउट हो जाते हैं वहां कुछ नहीं बनता। इसका मतलब इस केस में बैक वॉल पर एक ब्राइट लाइन और कई कम ब्राइट लाइंस बनते हैं। तो अभी तक हम ये जान गए हैं कि जब हम मैटर को दो स्लिट से पास करवाते हैं तो बैक वॉल पर दो सीधी लाइन बनेगी। उसी तरह अगर वेव्स को दो स्लिट से पास कराएं तो इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न के कारण कई सीधी लाइंस बनेगी। चलिए अब चलते हैं क्वांटम की दुनिया में। एक इलेक्ट्रॉन एक मैटर का छोटा रूप होता है। चलिए इसे सिंगल स्लिट से पास कराते हैं, बिल्कुल उसी तरह जैसा कि हमने मार्वल्स के साथ किया था। ये बिल्कुल मार्वल की तरह ही व्यवहार करेगा और एक सीधी लाइन बैक वॉल पर बनाएगा। सब कुछ नॉर्मल है, राइट? इसका मतलब है कि जब हम इसे दो स्लिट से पास कराएं तो बैक वॉल पे दो सीधी लाइन बननी चाहिए, बिल्कुल मार्वल की तरह। क्या? ये तो इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न है जो वेव शो करते हैं, पर हमने तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स फायर किया था जो मैटर का ही छोटा रूप होते हैं। तो ये वेव की तरह क्यों काम कर रहे हैं? कैसे? भौतिकी शास्त्रियों ने सोचा कि हो सकता है वो आपस में टकरा जा रहे हों, जिसके कारण ऐसा हो रहा हो। इसलिए उन्होंने इस बार एक ऐसे गन का इस्तेमाल किया जो एक बार में एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन फायर करे ताकि वो आपस में टकरा ना सके। 10-12 घंटों के बाद वैज्ञानिक ये देखकर हैरान थे कि इस बार भी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ने इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न ही शो किया था और बैक वॉल पर एक के बजाय कई लाइंस बने थे। ऐसा तभी मुमकिन था जब इलेक्ट्रॉन्स स्लिट से पास होने से पहले पार्टिकल से वेव में बदलकर दोनों स्लिट से पास हों और बाद में फिर से पार्टिकल बनकर बैक वॉल से टकराए। मैथमेटिकली ये लगभग नामुमकिन था, क्योंकि या तो वो केवल एक स्लिट से पास हो सकते थे या फिर दोनों से, पर उनका अपने नेचर को बार बार बदलना वैज्ञानिकों को खटक रहा था। उन्होंने सोचा कि क्यों ना देखा जाए कि असल में इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के साथ हो क्या रहा है। उन्होंने एक ऑब्जर्वर मशीन स्लिट के पास सेट कर दी जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के छोटे से छोटे परिवर्तन पर नजर रख सकता था, पर इस बार जो हुआ उसने वैज्ञानिकों के होश उड़ा दिए। दरअसल इस बार इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ने पार्टिकल नेचर दिखाते हुए बैक वॉल पर केवल दो सीधे लाइन ही बनाए। आश्चर्यजनक ये था कि जब ऑब्जर्वर को हटा दिया जाता इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इंटरफेरेंस पैटर्न दिखाते और जब ऑब्जर्वर से उन्हें ऑब्जर्व किया जाता तो वो पार्टिकल नेचर दिखाते। ऐसा लग रहा था मानो उन्हें पता चल जा रहा था कि कोई उन्हें देख रहा है, जिसके कारण वो अपना व्यवहार बदल दे रहे थे। वो ऐसा व्यवहार कैसे करते हैं ये आज भी वैज्ञानिकों के लिए एक रहस्य बना हुआ है। वैज्ञानिकों ने इस
सो आई होप सभी को थोड़ा बहुत ये एक्सपेरिमेंट समझ आया होगा। इट्स एक्चुअल मीनिंग इज कि जब वो पार्टिकल को थ्रो कर रहे थे, 1 सेकेंड, when they are actually throwing particle, कि वहां पे अगर कोई कैमरा भी नहीं है तो वो अपने एक डिफरेंट वेव पैटर्न शो कर रहा है। जब कैमरा वहां इंट्रोड्यूस कर देते हैं, देन इट अगेन शोइंग अ नॉर्मल थिंग, टू स्लिट्स। But when no electromagnetic thing is there, they behave in a totally weird way that people are not able to understand. तो इसका findings ये निकाली गई कि in our world, when there is no observer, no one is watching, everything behaves in a different world due to the field only. कि आप जब कहीं भी कोई बंदा मौजूद नहीं है, quantum level, in our quantum level also somewhere it affects us. That is why in one of the interview, Elon Musk once said, there is only 10% chances that we are living in a real world. This might be a very, very advanced simulation. कि एक advanced VR का हम एक हिस्सा है. We feel like this world is real, but this is not a real world. That double slit experiment shows. So after the presentation, I will post a link of this video also. You can watch via YouTube, right? तो इसको थ्रू आउट वर्ल्ड में मल्टीपल जगह पे एक्सपेरिमेंट किया गया, थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड, एंड द रिजल्ट इज सेम. थिंग्स बिहेव टोटली डिफरेंट व्हेन द no one is watching. Now the thing is, what kind of a language this matrix understand, right? So he said feeling is the language that speaks to the divine matrix. When you feel from your heart that your goal is already accomplished, when you feel from your heart that the prayer is already answered, then the universe powers will have to make it happen, not instantly, but in some time. So he said compassion is what connects everything. If we have a compassion, then we can connect with the earth, with the people, with everything we want. Our emotions are too powerful because our mind sends electric signals and heart sends magnetic signals. When there is a harmony between the heart and the mind, then only you are able to access this divine matrix in a good way. So in an old biblical, you can see the picture of author. Feeling is the language that speaks to the divine matrix. Feel as though that your goal is already accomplished and your prayer is already answered. So there is a very, very big library called as Nag Hammadi Library. और इसमें अपने बाइबल के ओल्ड टेस्टिमेंट्स बुक्स बहुत सारे, मतलब ना पूरे वर्ल्ड में सबसे ज्यादा यहीं पे हैं. Many of the books were destroyed. उसमें से एक जली हुई बुक उनको मिली, तो उस पे ये टेक्स्ट लिखा था बाइबल में से, all things that you ask straightly directly will be given. All things that you ask straightly directly will be given. आपको मिलेगा whatever you ask. So उसमें आगे लाइन सेम लाइन लिखी है, so ask without hidden motive and be surrounded by the answers. इसकी इंटरप्रिटेशन ये है कि you must have a clarity of your desire. What you want throughout, you have to clarify what actually you want. And there should be no judgment. You should not judge that it won't happen. You should have a deep burning thought within your heart कि this will make it happen. That's why the people who preach God, उनके अंदर एक बहुत सी ना आस्था होती है, this will make happen. They will not judge. They always think that God will give us. So and then feel as thing is already already happened. Like be surrounded by the answers. So quantum principle telling us that feeling is the language to direct and focus our consciousness, right? Feeling is the way that we constantly see. Every day we constantly feeling something and constantly we choosing something. So throughout constantly what you are feeling, your feeling is giving the signals to the divine matrix so that you are getting all those things. The feeling, you have to change your feeling in order to change the outcomes, right? So now he said that we are living in a holographic reality. This whole matrix, divine matrix, is a big hologram. When something is holographic, it is reflected everywhere. Like one piece of information एक corner पे है, वो last corner, वो उस सब जगह पे वो चीज मौजूद है. And every piece of something mirrors the whole something, right? Example is quantum entanglement. The photon doesn't have to send the information उनके एंड पे ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट है. Einstein theory also said nothing can travel that quickly. Nothing can travel. So is it possible that we live in a universe where the information between the photons, the prayers for our loved one, desires for peace, need not to be transported anywhere. Yes, when you pray for someone, when you है ना अपने loved ones के लिए pray करते हो, someone is not well, even if they are 10,000 miles away, when you pray for them, somewhere in a quantum level, it affects them immediately. It doesn't need to travel, है ना 1-2 minutes, 1 hour नहीं लगेगा, instantly, because of the holographic reality of it. So we live in a known local world where things are physically separated from one another, but still we all are connected. So there is no separation from my consciousness and your consciousness. We all are connected through the field. Universally connected hologram of consciousness promises that instant we create the good wishes and prayers, they are already received at their destination, even if they are 10,000 miles away, as I told you. So the hologram of our consciousness. So he said a little changes in our life mirrored everywhere in the world. Beautiful. You need to understand this thing. A little changes within you will reflect everywhere, in your relations, in your business, in your friends, everywhere. A little changes in you. We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. अगर आप सोचोगे यार people are fraud, लोग ठग हैं, है ना? You keep on getting all those things. If you keep on afraid of accident ना हो जाए मेरा कहीं से ना, you keep on getting all those things because of your core deepest beliefs. So he said our core beliefs, emotions, prayers, feeling, etc. reflect everywhere in our life. If something is not working out, it means you are sending a wrong signal to your from your consciousness, right? So this is a very beautiful picture from the book. Just like a thing, कि Word, Excel, PowerPoint are the program, वो operating system के ऊपर चलते हैं, XP, है ना? And you are see the outcome अपनी screen पे, printer पे. Similarly, your feeling, emotions, and prayers, it directs your consciousness toward it creates your reality. In order to change your reality, you have to change your feeling, emotions, prayers, and your deepest beliefs. Then everything would be changed. So now we are coming to the conclusion. So what quantum words suggest? Quantum words suggest that we all are connected via divine matrix. So via divine matrix, things work very, very differently when no one watches. Our consciousness is like the operating system of our reality. And we must become in our lives the very thing we choose to experience. So this is very important line. We must become in our life the very thing we choose to experience in our world. See, hota kya hai? We are someone else, but we expect people to be fair. We are not fair, but we expect people to be fair. So you must become someone what you choose to experience in the world. And last and the most importantly, we are not the powerless. We have all those power, potential to change our destiny with the help of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So thank you so much. That's all.
Very hearty thanks to Mr. Anup Luthra. And just like a few days ago when we had our interaction, firstly I request Anupji to kindly stop this sharing so that, yes, thank you very much. Just like the few days ago when we met, today yet again, the mind has been boggled and it has been opened to yet another awakening. Just to share the key points that I could learn and the way I feel we all can apply these concepts in our day-to-day lives. You started by referring to an empty space, which is not only physically in the real world applicable, but also at the quantum level. There is an empty space which this book refers to as the divine matrix. Then you use the word consciousness, which in the spiritual language means much more different than what we understand. English would define the act of being conscious as being aware of maybe the current affairs or the things happening around. But the spiritual world refers to consciousness as our ability to focus all our emotions and feelings to that one particular desire where our heart and mind can come into harmony. This definition, this idea of consciousness is unique, and I believe that standalone in itself. Then you beautifully said that everything in this world is connected. Even though the world originated from the smallest particle, once separated, yet the connection remains. And to prove this point, you gave the example wherein the photons were separated and tickling one was also the other one being tickled. Amazing. We're all part of this divine, huge, interconnected universe. You also mentioned that in the historic and prehistoric world, humans knew how to tap this conscious energy. And that is how they were able to fight against those turbulent, destructive forces, because humans were not always sheltered in a beautiful abode. They lived in the caves. They survived in the toughest of terrains and the most difficult of landscapes. So they really needed the energy, the ability to channelize this conscious energy. And then the beautiful part of your slides came when you mentioned how we can apply all these concepts to improve our lives. And you shared that the only tool that we all have is our ability to focus all our feelings and energy into one cause, to become a participant, to become not just an onlooker or a beholder, but a participant in this huge universe wherein we are a very essential cog in. And you said that whatever we become in our lives, it's all the result, the outcome of our dominant thoughts. And then there was this another very complicated, but I think a very impactful experiment, the two-slit experiment, where you talked about how things, they behave in a particular manner, but there is no observer around. The very act of observation, the very act of focusing our eyes, our emotions, our feelings into something changes altogether the behavior of the particle. What we need to fulfill our desire is a harmony in what we want and electrically program with our brain, and how we harmoniously program our heart to liberate those magnetic energies. In your talk, Anup Luthra-ji, we could see a beautiful amalgamation of spiritual and scientific world. And we really learned that in order to receive whatever we want, there is a very essential need of having a clarity of desire and being absolutely non-judgmental. Having the faith that what we want can absolutely be possible, because that's how everything has been created before. Everything begins with a creation in the mind, and then it manifests and materializes. And where I believe I and all the listeners can apply this knowledge is by beginning everyday introspection. If we have a desire, a goal, a target, a dream, and every day, whatever we do, post our day-to-day actions, if we can analyze whether those actions really brought us a step closer, or did they really beautify the frame of our dream? And finally, you made everything so simple by comparing it with a computer system. Our consciousness is like an operating system. It could be the Android, the iOS, the Microsoft. And then you said all the emotions and feelings, they're like the applications, the software, the language that the computer understands. The Microsoft, the Excel, the PowerPoint, and finally is the monitor, the screen, the ultimate materialization and manifestation of what we dreamed and aspired. So I would really like to read the comments as well. But before that, Anupji, I hope I have not altered the words and the ideas that you shared. I hope I've clarified it in my way. Thank you very much. And now I'm just going to read certain comments which have been shared by our listeners today. Sahil Agarwal adds that even our Shastra, they say, Bhumi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, and Akash. The 5 elements that constitute the human body, and for that matter, every existence on this earth. Very well said. Anupji started with these 5 elements, and now he made us go deeper into the 5th element called space or ether. Then Mr. Avnish Agarwal adds, the whole concept of divine matrix is really astonishing. The weird thought of just changing your thought process and how it can bend the reality is really mind-boggling. Very well explained, Anupji. Sahil Agarwal adds further, he understands that quantum physics suggests there is interconnectedness of all things and beings that connects the mind and the cosmic world. And he also infers from the presentation that the connecting thread amidst everybody is the feeling alone. And he asked the dear Anup, do you think that these feelings can ever be aligned? Anupji wants to hear your take. Can these feelings be aligned?
I must read the question first.
Yeah, so he wants that whether our feelings can be aligned, can we give them the direction, the shape? Is there some exercise that we all can do to really make our feelings focused?
Well, it is a practice. So they said the most powerful 4 emotions human can have is compassion, appreciation, thankfulness, and joy. When you keep on having these kind of, whenever you have this kind of feeling, your electromagnetic field through your heart would get expanded. When you have stress, anxiety, depression, tension, it will get shrink. So if you keep on doing purposely, consciously, you are exercising this thing, because when your electromagnetic field throughout your heart is expanded, your autoimmune system is more stronger, and your immunity is very powerful, and nothing can harm you. It is like your armor. It is like
amazing. I think there can be no prettier answer. You mentioned
this is mentioned in ancient Tibetan texts. I have read something.
Lovely. So you mentioned that how being appreciative and being grateful about everything around us automatically expands our experience of universe. Beautiful. Ma'am Jasmeet Nair adds, it is a perfect explanation to The Secret Book by Rhonda Byrne. And also she says that you made it easy to understand for everyone. And yes, everyone must try it out because it works, but only if there is complete sincerity, ma'am adds. Avnish Agarwal adds further that this whole concept of alignment between the divine and the material world is really worth pondering upon and worth consciously imbibing. And also there are some more lovely additions by him. He says, yes, the joy is the outcome of practicing compassion, appreciation, and gratitude. Very well said. Avnish has really helped us to summarize the key points. We have another set of words by Ma'am Neetu Kaur. She has that Anup sir has vast knowledge about loads of things. Within him is a fountain of wisdom. And she also adds that her long coveted dream is to have a podcast with him. Lovely. And she knows that the podcast with Anup Luthra ji would be insightful. And also she wants to turn this dream into reality. So she's really channelizing all the focus, the feelings and emotions here. And certainly, Ma'am Neetu Kaur, it would happen. Right, Anupji? So on this note, everybody, it's time to say au revoir. This book is a must-read. It's called The Divine Matrix by Greg Braden. And we are so thankful to Anupji for introducing the vital concepts. And Ma'am Seema Malhotra has also added that, wow, she says it was good she joined today. And also she says that she would try to follow the appreciation and compassion. And also she says that in business, we forget these basic moral virtues. But yes, it was a great reminder. Very well said, Seema ma'am. On this note, let's meet the next Sunday, everyone. Au revoir. A very hearty thanks to Anupji for enlightening us. And bye-bye. See you next Sunday.